So ultimately, we have to think about our self-talk, think about the things that we're saying to ourselves and the things that we're saying to other people. So having those sorts of awareness and insights is going to be a step in the right direction on self-empowerment. The second thing I want to cover is self-care. Now, self-care is very important. It's like a level of self-respect that we give ourselves enough time and care within ourselves, whether that's rest or learning or meditation or exercise, all the different elements of self-care. It's showing a level of self-respect that we value those things, that's important to us, that we value ourselves enough to put time aside to have a level of self-care and prioritize ourselves in that way that is going to lead to a level of empowerment, because we know that's important. We know that's something that's important to serve us and other people. We are our best self when we have that level of self-care, and we're doing these things that will lead to that. And obviously that's tapping into ourselves, our intuition, and understanding when that might be, when we might need to take a break, or when we might need to if we're doing enough exercise. All these different elements of self-care. Learning obviously is going to be a big one, meditation, and again, if it's something to do with the mind, then meditation might be beneficial to that as well. But crafting out that time for ourselves is going to be a decent step in the direction of self-care. The third one is self-responsibility. Now, I talk about this a lot because within personal development, having a level of personal responsibility is important when it comes to our growth, because ultimately the things we are the biggest problem that we're going to have in life. Thanks for confirming that, Chris, and thanks for coming back. Ultimately, we are the biggest problem that we are going to have in our life. And I've mentioned this before, and the reason for this is because the things that happen in life, the circumstances, the events, the perceived negative events or bad events, etc., they're going to happen. We can't change that. The only thing that we can change is ourselves and the meaning and context that we give external things that happen. It brings me back to what I talk about all the time, and how it's the primary journey is self-mastery, our level of development, of our way of dealing with life. If we grow in ourselves, then we're able to deal with the things that happen in life more in a better way, in a more empowering way. And this comes down to our level of personal responsibility, because we have to understand that we can choose new circumstances through our actions. And it was a quote from Jim Rohn. I can't remember it exactly, but he was basically saying that we are not a tree. We can choose new circumstances. We can get up, we can move. Again, this is having a level of personal responsibility that we can choose our new circumstances. And this is coming back to tuning into our intuition, to understanding what is best for us. What is our next move? What do we need to do to move forward on our journey of personal growth or a situational circumstance? We can get up, we can move. We're not a tree. So I like that one. That's a good reference. But ultimately, we have to take personal responsibility, take ownership of our life, understand that we can, by growing in ourselves, we shift our context and meaning for the things in life, and then that takes us on that journey to mastering ourselves. The next one is self-sovereignty. Now, self-sovereignty is something it's been quite apparent over the last couple of years, the people who are self-sovereign and the people who aren't. Self-sovereignty is really having this inner power of ourself and understanding that we are powerful individuals as individuals and as a collective, as a race. You look at our intuition, our gut feeling, or our higher self, whatever you want to refer to it as. This serves us. It is a very accurate way of making decisions of what we know. A lot of the time when we have that gut feeling, we know what the right decision is, and that serves us. If you look at the process of evolution, as humans, we're very adaptable, we're very resilient, we're very powerful in many different forms. So we have to have a level of trust in that, in our higher self, in the higher intelligence of the way that things work, the universe, or whatever you want to refer to it as. Obviously there's different labels, but I wouldn't get hung up on labels. But this higher level of intelligence, this sense of intuition, and by tapping into this, we understand our true power. And the problem is that in the world that we live in, there's always going to be different people, different power structures, different agendas, different people pushing the things that they want to do onto other people. But it comes down to this: are you making more decisions from fear or from love? A place from love is going to be a place that serves you. And this really comes down to understanding our intuition. And this comes from our level of self-education. If we self-educate, if we use this as a principle and we're clear on ourselves, we're clear on our values, we can make decisions. We can tune into our intuition. We can make decisions a lot from a lot more empowered place, which is why it's one of the principles here. But, ultimately, there's always going to be some corporation or some government or other people's agendas trying to be pushed onto you. But the more that we self-educate and we use this as a fundamental principle, the more we understand ourselves, the more we understand what is right for us. And, we're not here to be just sort of pushed around and told what to do. It's a much better service to ourselves and to other people, the people who are self-educated, the people who are more taking more responsibility for themselves and their decisions, and understanding what they want, acting authentically as a true expression of themselves and what they want and what is best for them. People, when people tap into this higher place, this intuition, obviously, a lot of the time it is from that place of it's better for them, but it's also better for the collective as well. This is why I refer to it as like your higher self, because it's like we're on our soul's journey effectively. So having that level of self-sovereignty is going to empower you to make more powerful decisions that are based on what is better for you, acting from a place of love and not just being controlled by other people or fear or other types of influences that are quite prevalent in today's society. So, are you making decisions from love or fear? You can always come back to that and always tune into your intuition. The more you do your personal growth, the more you do the inner work, the stronger that signal of your intuition of what is the right decision, it becomes a lot more clear and apparent to you. So, this is obviously the principle of self-education. The other one I want to cover is self-love. Now, self-love is an important thing, obviously, because, the more that we cultivate that level of self-love, the more that it serves us. But it's also in service to others as well. Because, when we think of it this way of, we have to have a full cup ourselves before we're at a better place to contribute and serve other people as well. If people are lacking in self-love, this is why you see dysfunction in relationships, in other forms of interactions, because people become more needy. They're in a relationship or different situations for the wrong reasons, because they haven't cultivated that level of self-love. And this is why there's a lot of dysfunction in relationships, and not just personal relationships, but other types of relationships, and the way that people interact with life as well. So cultivating this level of self-love serves us, it serves others, and we're a better place that, whenever you meet someone who has a high level of self-love, self-worth, their level of self-esteem, etc., is very high, they're the sort of people you want to spend time with. It's just like magnetic, it's like an automatic thing. So cultivating a level of self-love is going to empower yourself. It's going to be in service to yourself and to other people as well. And I want to give some methods to do this. And one of the things that I find really useful, and I know other people who use this and find this really effective, is the process of journaling. And with journaling, you can write down different things. There's different things you can write down to cultivate self-love. And one of the things is writing down, your qualities, the things that you love about yourself, like how you're awesome, how you're great, the things that you've done, the things that you've accomplished, the magical things that you've experienced in life. and the things you've accomplished and things that you've done, and this can be like a reference point, and you can always come back to this as a reference point of it. Oh yeah, I've when you're feeling down, or when you need to look at it, preferably like look at it regularly, and you can add to it, and you can add to it, and you can add to your qualities of other things you think of, and as you cultivate it, it brings up it gets things flowing. It brings up other insights about yourself, things to do with self-love, and things that you like about yourself, and you can refer to this, and this can be a resource to you refer back to, and things you might have done, experience, accomplishments, all these different things. You can use that to come back to, and you can add to it over time. And this is a really good resource to use as you build that up. Then you're going to get more things, and you're cultivating that level of self-love. Also, I want to talk about gratitude, because gratitude is as like a vibrational frequency is very high. It's one of the highest vibrational frequencies. Is like the way that we are feeling, because it's a good feeling, but it has that it's humble as well. You're grateful, obviously, for and you can use this in your journal. Things that you're grateful for. It could be that day or in general, and again you can write these things down, and again you can refer to those as well. But by tapping into gratitude, preferably every day in the morning, because a lot of time when we wake up, sometimes there's a lot of the time we have a high level of cortisol. That's why we feel a bit down and a bit mopey. But by tapping into gratitude first thing in the morning, then again that sets us up to win for the day. And we can be grateful for those things, and that is gonna change how we are and moving forward into the day. Like I said, setting ourselves up to win, and we're going to feel better about ourselves, and we're going to have a reference point of the things that we're grateful for. Again, another thing that we can refer back to. So that's self-love. So if you got any questions, then just drop them down below, and I'll just do a bit of a summary on this. So the five selves to self-empowerment were the inner self, self-care, self-responsibility, self-sovereignty, and self-love. So that's the 5 there. So ultimately, this is the journey of becoming our true self. It's another tool to mastering ourselves, by empowering ourselves, by cultivating a level of self-love, remembering that we are powerful, that many of the answers that we have are within. We just need some insights, some awarenesses to bring to remember that, so we can remember to tune into our intuition, tune into our soul's journey effectively. Why we're here, becoming our best self, becoming the person that we want to be. And ultimately we're remembering that power inside. We're tapping into that. We're tapping into the power inside of us, so we can come from a place that serves us, and we can make powerful decisions moving forward. And this is going to serve us in living a more happy and fulfilled life. And like I mentioned before, this is not just about us. In doing this, we are in service to humanity, because we are operating from a place that's more self-empowered. We are living as a truer expression of ourselves, coming from more love rather than fear, and knowing what we want. This is always going to be people who know what they want and are going after it in the right way, are always going to be service and contribution to others as well. So again, it brings me back to how the primary journey here is the journey of self-mastery, and obviously self-empowerment is a huge part of that. So